listening to the Pasco Podcast with Mike Carballa. Welcome to Season 3 of Pasco Podcast, a series about leadership and public service. We'd like to thank our sponsors, the nearly 600,000 people of Pasco County, as represented by the Board of County Commissioners. It's through their trust and empowerment of our workforce and leadership team that we're able to bring you this podcast. This podcast is designed to help public servants build leadership skills and leverage them for success by sharing the experiences of our peers.
Hi, I'm Mike Carballa, and welcome to our 46th episode of Pasco Podcast. Hard to believe the holiday season has arrived, right on the heels of back-to-back hurricanes. This year, more than ever, we're seeing how important it is for our community to come together and lend a helping hand. Whether it's recovering from the storms or providing comfort and resources during the holidays, especially to our veterans and our seniors. Our team is always stepping up to support those in need. So I'm happy to introduce to you today Veteran Service Manager David Gersen and Human Services Manager Jordan French. David, Jordan, welcome. How are you guys today?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah, excellent. It's great to see you all here. Jordan, I know you've been around a while, but why don't you talk to us a little bit about, tell us about yourself and how you came to work here at Pasco.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a mom of two boys, so I stay very busy at home and at work. But I've spent most of my life in the service industry. So I worked in restaurants to some varying degree until my 30s, and then when we had the kids, I was in training to be a general manager for a restaurant, and I realized that I needed more time at home with my kids. So that's when I started working at a lawyer's office, and I was a paralegal for a little while, and then I became I moved down to Florida, and I started working for the county attorney's office.
Okay, that's right. I forgot you started out there, worked your way through, did agenda coordination, and now you're Human Services.
Yep, the manager of Human Services. So it's pretty amazing.
Fantastic.
It's been a wild ride.
Fantastic. David, how about you?
I was in the military. I enlisted right out of high school. I spent almost 33 years on active duty in the Marine Corps. And for the last permanent change of station, choice of location, I let my wife decide where we're going to go. And we wound up in Florida, Pasco County. We live in Wesley Chapel. And after retirement, I sat around for a few months, decided that wasn't for me. And I started looking at jobs that really, hit the mark for paying it back. And I wanted to work with veterans. Definitely wanted to pay it forward with the guys that were coming out after me. And I found Pasco County. The job suited what I was looking for, and it's definitely been the best decision of my life.
Excellent. You came to us when it was very recently, right?
I started in April.
Yeah. That's right. Okay. Was Rob still working here when you came in, or
I just missed him?
Just missed him. Okay.
He was part of the initial process to hire me, but he retired before I started.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, it's great having you both, and I know you guys truly make a difference in what you do. I always kind of describe the public services branch, but specifically Human Services, Veteran Services, and even Senior Services as kind of that tip of working with those in our community that are probably most vulnerable and most needy in a lot of ways. And so it's been a tough few months for a lot of folks, and the holidays in and of themselves can be a challenging time. So talk about how Veteran Services and then Human Services are helping folks.
Sure. Our primary concern is the veterans as they come in. I try to get the word out as much as possible. So when veterans come in and they're in need, we work primarily doing veterans claims through the VA.
Okay.
Obviously, the bureaucracy with those processes aren't very quick. So I tend to refer a lot of folks over to Jordan's team. Unfortunately, but they have a more immediate impact on the things that are being impacted to those veterans. And if it's something that's mental health related or something like that, we can definitely get them over to the VA clinic and the hospital. But usually it's more along the lines of things that Jordan's team has direct connections with.
Absolutely, but at least you're connecting them to a lot of the benefits, federal benefits that they've earned through their service.
Correct.
And then in turn, you're able to kind of help switch over to case managers that are able to help them out with the other aspects of their life. So Jordan, what do you want to add to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So our case managers, we provide case management to all of the citizens across Pasco County. So, even whether it's everyday life or the holidays, honestly, people are very much so in need. And so through that case management, we help people connect to either some of our direct services that we have, which can be, we have EHEAP, which is Emergency Home Energy Assistance Program.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
So that's for seniors 60 and older who are behind on their electric bills. So that's huge this time of year. We also have a roundup program for people who are behind on their water bills, who are Pasco County Utilities customers. But then, there are people with mental health issues, and we aren't counselors. We are more of, sympathetic, empathetic ears, and help so many people through so many issues. So we'll also connect them to partner agencies like Baycare, or the people who are set up to actually help them in those times.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've just experienced the worst hurricanes, quite honestly, in probably a century, or at least in this area, as far as this area is concerned. Your teams both rose to the challenge. You guys kind of stepped in and did. How does your everyday work kind of shift to dealing with those in crisis and recovery, like what we just saw?
Absolutely. Our team, we're small but mighty. We have a total team of 9 folks. Appointments stop when that happens, and then we just all. The rosters come out for the shelters, and we all just sign up, and that's our primary goal until the immediate, emergency is over. Then after that, it's about recovery. We worked closely with Jordan's team. We filled in where we could. We did phone calls to a whole lot of folks to make sure that if they were in need, they had the resources, or they knew where to look for resources. And then after that, we helped all the veterans we could get the word out as much as possible, to have them come in so we could get them to the right places and refer them to the right folks. Gotcha.
Jordan, I know your side's been busy.
Oh yeah. We just got out of the shelters last week, it's been a lot. But during the activation, our management team is in the EOC, and so we're in there making sure shelters have the supplies that they need to be successful. And then immediately, as soon as the streets are safe, our case managers are driving to the shelters, and as they get there, they're there. Their purpose is to help people figure out what to do next.
Right.
People can't always go home. If they can, we try to figure out how to get them there, what they might need if they need to fix something. And through the multiple resources throughout the county, we help them with that. But then also, we connect them. Sometimes they have to find a creative solution and go somewhere else. And that was almost impossible. The hotels were completely full.
Everything was booked. Yeah. Well, because you had so many people displaced, right?
Yeah.
We've got, thousands of homes literally that are still technically uninhabitable. Whether folks have chosen to live there or not is kind of a different issue. But those that are, feeling affected, they're filling up these hotel rooms, they're filling up the shelters. What else are we doing? Is there more to that?
So we did also help assist people to get into the Pasco Hope, which is over off Grand Boulevard. So that was huge. That was very helpful. Temporary housing for people in need. But we had so many different scenarios because every person's issue was different, and we had to have a lot of creative solutions in there. And honestly, some people left the shelter with leases signed. We had a lot of really great success stories that came out of that. And so people left with jobs that didn't have jobs before. So our case managers were working hard. They were amazing. I got to say, we have a small team as well. And
that's fantastic. Yeah. Connecting, I think you guys, you talk about that, connecting each other where that is. And so you're in great positions, and glad to see it too, right? Different teams have stepped up and filled in other areas. Actually, I just left a department right now where we've got other folks from other departments filling in to kind of help shoulder the burden. One of the things I witnessed, even as, perhaps it's even as a success story, is how our teams really came together in this time. And it really, oftentimes in large organizations, people get siloed into their little groups, but it was amazing, the teamwork and the stories and the camaraderie that came out. What stories do you guys have? Anything interesting, whether it's storm related or not? I'm just, free for all here.
I had one actually, ironically, that came up this morning.
Yeah.
I won't go into details or names, but she lost her home in the initial storm with Helene. She was devastated. She was staying with friends and family. I believe Commissioner Yeager had reached out to Kathy Pearson, and who reached out to me. She had a veterans connection.
Okay.
I was able to speak to her for quite a while. In the madness of the storm, post recovery, she just forgot to remember that she had a pending claim from a long time ago. I didn't realize she did. Come to find out, long story short, she was awarded a benefit that she didn't realize she was going to get, primarily through the extended work of John, one of our VSOs, very experienced guys. And it was awarded this weekend, actually, and he was able to call her this morning to let her know she'd be getting a back payment of quite a big sum of money. That in coordination with Jordan's team and the case manager she was working with, and the small amount of money that FEMA was able to give her is going to be a life-changing thing for her. And we were just a small part of that. And
that's awesome.
That's one of the reasons why we do this job.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. Jordan.
Yeah, I have many stories, but I have to touch on the teamwork too, because I mean, that was amazing. We had over 1,500 requests online, and that wasn't even, that was just, in the middle of Milton, up till the middle. And so we had to have other people help us. Our team was way too small to respond to all those requests, and especially physically being at the shelter. And so other teams like Veteran Services stepping up. I mean, I was Saturday night training people online to answer these calls and stuff. And I mean, Development Services, their admin team helped, libraries helped, so many random people. And that was beautiful to see. It was genuinely beautiful because, at that point they were doing it, on top of their jobs. So that was awesome.
Yeah, we always used to joke, I can't wait. I wonder when we're going to start doing our day jobs again, right? Almost for a whole month.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, we also, we had one of our own case managers, her house flooded. She lost pretty much everything. And, it was heart-wrenching. And so to have her, and then I think one of her daughters also went through the same experience. And so here she is going through that personal situation. And then on top of that, going to the shelters and helping other people. And so, I mean, even in our own teams, we saw devastation.
You want to salute that. I know we had somewhere between 200 or 300 of our own employees within Pasco County government that were affected. And that doesn't include our constitutional officers or any of the other groups. And it was touching to see how the team just had even reached out. But then for these folks just to kind of recognizing, serving their community, just to hop right back in and jump in, kind of putting their stuff on hold a little bit. Their dedication, it gives me goosebumps. Actually, it's very cool. I want to let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the holidays, right? So holidays are a little different. Jordan, any particular services or programs that tend to be in a little more demand this time of year?
I mean, honestly, the reality is a lot of people are in need of financial assistance. And so this is a big time for us to help people get hooked up with other services and public benefits. But for us, that EHEAP program is massive, and a lot of seniors need help getting caught up on their bills.
Sure.
But we can also, what people don't realize is through that, we can actually also purchase units. And so if their bill's high because their unit's broken, we can get them a new air conditioner. And that's a huge help to some people. Yeah. But we do a lot during the holidays. Even as a team, last year we bought pajamas for the family shelter. Yeah. We asked them what they needed, and they said they needed pajamas. So we got the entire shelter pajamas, and it was adorable.
Oh, that's
awesome.
Really sweet. That's awesome. Kids loved it too. So it's touching.
Yeah.
How about on the veteran side?
For the veteran side, homelessness is big always. We have referrals that we put out for them, as well as any mental health issues. The VA has a hotline that we always refer those folks to. But if there's ever any questions, we always direct them to just come in and talk to us. And
Gotcha.
We can kind of sort that out and figure out where they could be helped out the best.
Okay, gotcha. And the holidays for some can be kind of a lonely and isolating kind of time. Looking at veterans and maybe even families on your side. I mean, how can we as general public and everyday citizens make sure that these folks aren't forgotten?
Honestly, since the global war on terror started, a lot of folks are really good about saying thank you for your service. And, it seems kind of cheesy sometimes, but it's actually, it's a nice thing to hear. Not expected or demanded, but it's always nice to just say thank you. Also, if you know of a veterans organization, there's a lot of them out there, VFW, DAV, those folks, reach out to them, see how you can help. There's always events going on that support veterans. I'm sure they'd be more than happy to have extra volunteers at those events.
Fantastic.
That'll go a long way.
That's awesome. So aside from maybe donating pajamas, how else can we help our families to not be forgotten, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, check on people.
Okay.
Check on people, because that's the thing. I don't think people realize one of the biggest demographics that we work with are seniors because of EHEAP brings in a lot of seniors.
Yeah.
And so the amount of people in Pasco who do not have those traditional support systems, they don't all have somebody checking up on them. And so just reaching out and asking how somebody's doing, your neighbor even, it makes a difference. People genuinely need that. And especially during the holidays, it can make such a difference.
Yeah. Jordan, you have any, we just talked about, making a difference in the life of that one individual that got, wonderful back payment.
Yeah.
Any other examples of truly life-changing stuff going on your side?
Yeah. So one of my case managers worked with someone, and it's a funny thing, but a lot of the people that we get don't always come to us themselves. They get recommended to us, I'll say.
Yeah.
Well, oftentimes there's pride, right? Folks don't want, so it's kind of like, either a friend who wants to help doesn't know how to help, or kind of referring it to, people are reticent to reach out sometimes. Yeah.
Which is okay too.
Yeah, of course,
and
absolutely.
So a gentleman's sister actually reached out to us because she was scared for him, and she really thought that he was suicidal, and he had just lost his lifetime partner. He's a senior, and he had spent all of his money. I mean, all of his resources were gone. He was emotionally, mentally, physically unstable at that point, and so he started working with a case manager, and she was able to get him so many resources. She worked diligently with him over time. Oh. Some people need a lot more talking, and he needed a lot more talking. Yeah. But she was so willing, and she got him a phone through, I think, Lifeline. Okay. She got him signed up for SNAP benefits, but she also got him hooked up with InnovAge, which is this amazing aging service but they do wraparound care. They help people get free prescriptions, and so it was life-changing for him.
Fantastic.
And he came back to us and he was like, Melissa's the most amazing person in the world. She's everything you want a person to be. Yeah. I mean, it was really wonderful. So, she genuinely saved his life.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Anything to add? Or I know we already
I would say
hit one, but
the case managers and those VSOs out there that are face-to-face with our folks are the unsung heroes. It's always nice to get feedback, but it's not anything we don't already know about our teammates.
Yeah. All right. What do you think folks would be most surprised to learn about what you do? Is there anything type of services that you provide that may surprise folks?
I would just, as the short amount of time I've been here and meeting folks and talking to them and telling what I do, the biggest surprise is that I exist.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Right.
And the second biggest surprise is that it's free. We're paid. Right. We're already paid for. So come see us, come visit us, and find out what we can do for you. That's the biggest thing I can say is just, come talk to us.
Okay, perfect. Jordan?
I think for human services, it's simply the amount of things that we help people with. I mean, people don't realize, people come to us with a million different issues. Yeah. And so our case managers, they have to be experts in literally everything. But they're also a small team, and so that surprises people, and they realize how few of us there are.
I was shocked.
I mean, we only have 5 case managers.
You guys actually, I tell you, you get a lot done for what it is, and I don't think even a lot of people even understand that a lot of these positions are grant funded, or they come from outside sources of funding, and so you're kind of limited in some of those things, but you guys all have heart, and I know that's golly, 90% of it, and you're just out there giving it your all. So looking ahead, what are some of the challenges you would expect to see in terms of supporting the vulnerable folks in our community? Jordan, I'll start with you.
I would have to say it's going to be affordable housing.
I mean,
that's the first thing we hear is people either can't afford their rent anymore, or they don't have a place to go. They have, people living in their cars or couch surfing, and even with the Housing Navigator. So that's one of those grant-funded programs that we have, which is awesome. Our Housing Navigator, Fernando, is amazing. And I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
But even with him as a Housing Navigator, he goes out and tries to find housing that has lower barriers for people, and it's almost impossible. I mean, there is some affordable housing out there, so it's not non-existent. But at the same time, it might be $1,000 a month, but they have to make 3 times that in a year or in a month, and so everybody does.
and that's hard. I mean, just the supply and the demand pieces of this have just gotten such, and then by the time you start adding first month's rent, last month's rent, or security deposit, or those things, it's very difficult, I think, to rent, let alone own, right? So hopefully interest rates will start to come down, and but it takes it's a multifaceted solution. We know the state tried to do something here the past couple of years, and it's not a one size fits all. If there's anything that we have learned, it's that local problems deserve local solutions, and that we're going to have to roll up our sleeves and jump in on that. So I agree, affordable housing is continues to be a problem, but I think it'll be even more exacerbated if we don't do something with it. But we're making some great moves, right? The board just approved, I think it was $4 million of SHIP funding to go in, which is going to help go towards a couple hundred affordable housing units for 60% AMI, which is really where, Pasco's need is really in that 50 to 80% of the area median income, right? So that's where we need it. So I think you're seeing some solutions. They're coming. We just need them to come faster, right?
That's right.
So how about you, David, on your side?
Homelessness is big.
Yeah.
Healthcare, which I would say encompasses mental health, especially this time of year. Especially with veterans, it's not hard to feel like you're isolated. So that would be my biggest thing is just call your friends, make sure they're okay. And if not, come see us.
Okay.
We'll get you the resources.
All right. Well, hey, now on to leadership. So David, you're one of our newest team members, and Jordan, you've had a lot of roles here and have done a lot of stuff. What do you find most rewarding, David, about being a leader here in Pasco County?
Honestly, I get to work with some really, really good professional folks. They are here because they want to be here. They could be doing many other different things and be just as great at them, but they're here helping people because they want to be here to help their fellow veterans. And honestly, that's what brought me here as well. And so that's probably the most rewarding thing is working with a team collectively here rowing the same way, all going the same direction.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Jordan.
Yeah. So I didn't come to Pasco as a leader. So I've had
you've worked your way around here.
Yeah.
Look at you now.
Yeah.
Here you are.
I had to earn my stars though. I had to get up there. And so I think the most rewarding part for me has been with my teams that I have led, that moment when I earn their trust. And that's where, I know I worked hard with them to earn that and it's genuine. And I love that moment when, you come in and they're like, who is this person? Why are you here? We don't need you. But, and then having them turn around and grow to love you. But I love them. And, right now, Human Services, I have an amazing team. They are all compassionate. They're all out there. I mean, like I said, willing to help during the hurricanes when they had their own stuff going on. But to have people that are so good at what they do, then grow with me and we become a cohesive team, like that's just so rewarding. It's a beautiful thing.
That's fantastic. And, and a lot of the things you guys point out, it's really what it's about, right? I think our people are bought into our mission of serving our community to create a better future. But then, we look at people, purpose, and performance as sort of enabling that. And, your focus on the people, right? Treating them with respect, earning their trust, it goes a long way. And with that, golly, anything's possible. And you look at, they've performed admirably. So well done to both of you. How do you guys keep up on your leadership skills? We talk about sharpening the saw a little bit. You got to do a little something here on that. So I don't care whoever wants to answer first. David.
Open communication.
Yeah.
I value feedback.
Yeah. Good.
I make it a point to talk to all the team members. Good. And I hope they're not holding back. I believe I've earned their trust and hopefully I'm doing the things that I need to do to make sure that they have what they need to get the job done. And I feel like, it's a two-way street. And they hold me accountable just like I hold them accountable. And that's what makes us successful.
That's great because when we're accountable to each other, right, it's we don't want to let anybody down. So
that's right.
Fantastic. Jordan.
So I actually live by the motto that I don't know everything. And
amen.
I think, but like that keeps me in a place of being willing to learn.
Yeah.
And that's, I try to approach leadership in that same way. And so I take every opportunity I can to learn more from others. I mean, I'll ask questions. I'll call leaders in other departments and ask questions, how they handle stuff. But I'm actually currently in this leadership program called REACH.
Okay.
And it's with the health department, the Florida Health Department or Department of Health. And it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's about regenerative leadership, which is this very positive concept, and it focuses on abundance as opposed to scarcity and focusing on strengths versus weaknesses. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I mean, I'm really excited to bring that to my team.
Well, actually, you may bring it to the county. I don't know, Jordan.
I would love to. It's
you're going to do your own podcast on this. I haven't heard of it, but I'm interested. But being curious is part of being a leader, right? And if we think we know it all, well, then we're already on a downward spiral. So I think being curious about what your team's doing, what others are doing, will only help us. Will only help us be better because you're in a position of trust, and you're looking out for your team. So I think they're better off for it. So well done. How do you keep your team motivated?
So personally, I find it helps to connect with them on a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I really have learned not everyone is motivated by the same thing. You know,
It's true.
people,
So true.
Absolutely.
some people are more intrinsic, some are extrinsic. So, you know, when I connect with them on a personal level, I can learn. I mean, I actually had one person who was like, "You're not going to give us those $5 gift cards, right?" I'm like, "No, I would never give you one." but so I learned really quickly not to do that at the next event. But
Yeah, some days it's just, whew, thank goodness I got that one figured out.
you learn a lot at those one-on-ones.
You do.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, really connecting with them, and then, but being authentic with them allows them to be authentic. And so I find that motivating for them. Like, what do you need? What can I give, or what can I do to help you? And, you know, really then doing it.
Wonderful. Well, and you got to stick the landing, right?
Yeah.
And walk the talk.
That's right.
David, how about you?
Getting to know the folks, you know, one-on-one, it was really important to really understand what made each one of them tick. I'm lucky that the team I'm working with, we all have a very similar background from being in the military.
True.
So
Yeah.
that allowed me to connect with them a little bit quicker than usual.
Gotcha. You get in the Navy, Marine Corps jokes. That's
So,
all kind
you
of
know, we got it all.
needling.
Yeah. You know, so, and I probably took the brunt of it being the only Marine on the team. So a lot of crayon jokes. But,
Yeah.
I'm
I get a lot of chair force jokes, so it's okay.
yeah, we have a lot of folks on our team that are doing that too. But connecting with them that way, there was an immediate bond. So it was a lot easier for me, I think. And we all have a shared interest. And honestly, knowing what makes them tick and what motivates them individually is what really helps.
Well, I think you guys have just reinforced it again. It's about people, and
Yes.
kind of bringing your whole self to work. We talk to people about doing that, and that authenticity. And if they believe you're authentic and you're real and you're not just going through the motions, that makes a difference for a lot of people. And again, they earn your trust. It keeps them motivated, and it keeps us focused on doing what we need to do.
Absolutely.
I don't know about those extrinsic motivated people. I always tell them, like, you guys are in government.
Yeah.
That's why we gave you the $5 gift card.
Exactly.
But
Well, they know if you're faking it.
They do. No, folks know. I know. You know.
Yes,
We all
absolutely.
know. We all have a keen sense of that. So listen, we're always hiring. We're always looking for folks. Any advice for folks that may want to learn more about careers in each of your areas? Jordan, we'll start with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with human services, if people want to go into social work in general, they should absolutely follow that path. I mean, it takes a special person who wants to, give to others all the time. But yeah, I mean, call in our office. You can always call our main line and talk to our customer service specialists. They'll give you any information about getting connected with us. That's for sure. Or checking online at on our website.
Okay. Fantastic. And David?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Contact us, volunteer with us. If you're a veteran and you want to learn how to help other veterans.
Well, it's like you said,
start with us.
you did it just to give back. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, I think if you've got folks
I think that's what draws most of the folks that come to our office
Right.
that want to work. They want to help their fellow veterans.
What about volunteers? I mean, can people volunteer in your organization, just even on the outside if they... sometimes there's
Absolutely.
a need, right? I don't want to do it full time, but
Yeah.
maybe I want to go.
There's volunteer
help some-
positions advertised on our jobs website all the time. So,
Perfect.
Apply. We'll take you.
Perfect. Well, I've only got a couple other questions for you guys, and I didn't tell you about them. So
Oh boy.
that's all right. We'll start easy. We'll start easy. We'll start really, really easy. Is it coffee or tea, Jordan?
Oh, coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee. Amen.
Oh,
yeah. Of course. iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Thank God. Thank God. All right. Good. Fiction or nonfiction?
Oh, nonfiction.
Nonfiction.
Yeah.
Oh, just the
I'm a
facts,
dork.
man. All right.
I'm a big fan of historical fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Historical
That's good
fiction.
too.
I like that. It's a little bit in the middle. Okay. Sneakers or sandals?
Oh, sandals.
Absolutely.
Sneaks.
Sneaks.
I got to wear my sneakers.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
Gotta go with that. All right. Mac or Microsoft?
I'm a Mac guy. Sorry.
Me too.
Me too.
Apple all the way.
Yeah. Let's see here. If you could have any fictional character as your coworker, who would it be?
Okay, so mine's gonna be really dark and dorky.
I love it. Let's go. Talk to me.
man.
The Wheel of Time is my absolute favorite.
Yes.
Big high fiction novel series.
Uh-huh.
So definitely some of the lead roles in the Wheel of Time would be absolutely awesome.
Would be kinda
to work
cool?
alongside. Yeah, that'd be really
Yeah.
cool.
What would be
Like
cool
mystical.
about that? I don't know.
So you really got to watch the show if you're not going to read the books. But it would definitely be an adventure.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Oh, fantastic.
I've been really reading a lot of Jack Carr books.
Okay.
So Commander James Reese.
Yeah.
He's the protagonist of the story. I think I'd like to hang out with him one day.
Be pretty badass there. All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, listen, David, Jordan, thank you both for joining us today. It was great having you. So thank you. Special thanks to our media relations team who make this effort possible. And thank you for joining us on this episode of Pasco Podcast. I'm Mike Carballa, and we'll see you next time.
For more information on Pasco County government, please visit mypasco.net.